This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
The Lehigh Valley Health Network has started to distribute the COVID-19 vaccine to its staff. That story and more next. Hi everyone, and happy Hanukkah to our Jewish viewers. Thanks for watching today. I'm Ken Kara with your local information. The first frontline workers in the Lehigh Valley Health Network have received Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine. Chantel Branco, a nurse in the intensive care unit at Lehigh Valley Hospital Cedar Crest, was the first in the health network to get the vaccine. She was asked how she felt after.
Relieved. Like maybe this is, the beginning of the end of what has been the longest year of my career, and I'm sure of everyone who's been on the front lines.
While the vaccine brings hope, it will take a while to be distributed. Dr. Alex Benjamin, the Chief of Infection Control for LVHN, tells the Standard Speaker the public may be able to get the vaccine through LVHN in mid to late spring. So frontline workers hope the public continues to take the virus seriously.
If I had a conversation with someone who thought this was no big deal, I would tell them to spend a day with me. When you see someone struggling to breathe for hours and hours and hours, and when you listen to someone, speak to their family member via FaceTime, maybe perhaps for the last time, and then end up on a ventilator, and it's so common. That's like the progression. That's what I see every single day. And to really spend some time with some of us who are on the front lines and understand and listen, because it's incredibly sad what happens to people with this virus. They are sicker than I have ever seen, and I've been a critical care nurse for 10 years. I've never seen anything like this.
For more information on COVID-19, visit lvhn.org/COVID-19. Our Janine Lasant has a story about how hotels in our area and travelers have adapted during the pandemic.
Our SSPTV newsmaker tonight is Carla Thaler from the Hampton Inn and other resorts locally, and we're here to talk to her a little bit about a little review of 2020. So thanks for joining us here on the program.
Thanks for coming out. We're at our Hampton Inn today. Welcome back.
So you represent 3 of the hotels in the greater Hazleton area.
Right, so I'm our Regional Director of Operations. In Pennsylvania, we have 4 hotels. 3 of them locally are mine. The Hampton Inn by Hilton, which we're at, the Fairfield Inn and Suites by Marriott, and also the Residence Inn by Marriott in Humboldt Station.
Just so people know about the transitions that hotels have gone through, I know they've taken a big hit through 2020 with COVID-19. So walk us through what the year looked like for the hotels in our market since March.
So, I guess with most businesses, right, you would say that 2020 was probably one of the more challenging years that most of us have had. So when it first occurred, obviously it was a new situation to all of us, and we worked closely with both our brands, Hilton and Marriott, as well as our corporate office, which is located in Buffalo, in addition to all the state mandates and all the CDC regulations. And so we had to implement things like masks, additional hand sanitizer stations. We also had to put markings on the floor so that we had proper social distancing. So it was quite a transition at first, and people were not necessarily aware of it. So we did make additional alerts on our websites. The front desk was communicating as much as they could upon making reservations so that guests were aware when they got here. And for those of the guests that may have missed that information, we had certain PPE supplies stocked on hand so that they would still be compliant during their stay when they were with us.
Now, did you find that it was an adjustment for not only the people that came to stay at the hotel, but also for employees?
Absolutely, because many of our jobs within the hotel are very physical. So, getting used to having a mask on, getting used to wearing gloves, getting used to washing your hands more was certainly an adjustment, but we knew it was for the greater good. So this many months later, I think it's almost become, like people say, the new normal. And there's really no end, I guess, in sight at this point. So it's just become part of our normal routine.
What are some of the creative ways that the hotels have managed to stay afloat in 2020?
Well, thankfully, we're blessed with a very good sales team. So they work closely with our locally negotiated accounts, as well as our team that works with our brides and our grooms and the different social events, many of which were rescheduled from this year, 2020, until next year. So it was basically staying in communications, whether it was through email and phone, and just assuring them that everything that had been set aside and promised for them this year would be carried over into their new reservations in the new year.
Have you found over the year that people are now less hesitant to go and stay in a hotel? At first they were very scared, and now at the end of the year, although COVID is still here and still very serious, are more people traveling?
For us, yes. I would say that we've seen an uptick in travel as opposed to where we were, say, at the end of Q1 and in Q2. And thankfully, I've been blessed to interact with quite a few guests across our properties that actually complement the initiatives that we have in place. And, you know, some of what we do is actually above what's required, and they just seem grateful for having those precautionary measures in place.
And what do you foresee for 2021? Are there any other preparations or plans that the hotel is taking for that year?
So we'll continue to have all the same measures in place, in addition to regularly cleaning all of our surfaces just as much as we have been, if not more, moving into the new year. And depending on what you look at and what source you follow, some say it will be similar to this year, some say it will be a little bit better. So we're just preparing the best way that we can and keeping the hotel and the staff as safe as possible.
Today's news feature is brought to you by the Cheese Store and more in Hazleton. Don't be disappointed. Come in and stock up on Christmas ravioli now. For more information, you can call 570-455-3425.
Thank you, Janine, and thank you to the entire Lassant family as I bring you this programming note. Next week, the SSPTV staff will be off for the holidays, but we will still be bringing you news on the SSPTV News Facebook page and some great programming on SSPTV. You can watch some special Sam Lassant Christmas episodes, plus we're airing the Croft and Hughes Funeral Home 2020 virtual memorial service for anyone who is missing a loved one this time of year or anyone just looking for some inspiration. Check your local listings for a complete list of shows. The team at SSPTV News will see you again on December 28th.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
And now our weekend forecast from the National Weather Service. Saturday, it's mostly cloudy with highs in the 30s. Saturday night, mostly cloudy with lows in the 20s. Sunday is mostly cloudy with highs in the 30s. Sunday night, mostly cloudy with lows in the 20s. Monday is partly sunny with highs in the 30s. Monday night, mostly cloudy with lows in the 20s. And then on Tuesday, it's partly sunny with highs in the 30s. Coming up, several ways you can help the state police in our area bring joy this holiday season. And in the SSPTV Spotlight, we have a clip from our show, Mass for Inspiration, plus my interview with the District 2 AAA girls tennis doubles champions from the Hazleton Area High School is in sports.
The Miller Keystone Blood Center has an emergency need for O-positive and O-negative blood donors. If you would like to donate, you can call 1-800-BE-DONOR or you can go to giveapint.org. SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Joseph Bellner, known as age 64 of Minersville, services will be held at a later date under the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. Cecilia Ravina of Weatherly, the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home, will announce the arrangements. And Raymond A. Smith Jr., age 71, the Crofton Hughes Funeral Home, will announce the arrangements. Today's social and obituary report is brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. Call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com.